Hello, storytellers. It's Storytelling Ron, and I'm here to talk about the DRR, die rank result. I'm getting back into it, man. For 6 months, I have had chronic gout. It took me 4 months to even realize that. I thought I had some other autoimmune flare-ups or issues, maybe mixed in with gout, but I didn't know it was chronic gout. And anyway, so I'm getting back into things. I'm taking the drugs now, countering my 20 years of high uric acid that I never lowered through natural supplements or whatever else. So getting back, there's a little bit of a bump when you take the drugs, the allopurinol, and there's a bit of bump of pain, but I'm coming down from that now. Anyway, so die rank results, DRRs, and I've been working on it, man. I've been tinkering and waking my brain up again, trying to get back into it. But here it is in the Dark Ages, here it is in the Pulses of the Apocalypse, and here it is in Christians in Space. So I have to I'm trying to get all the rules consistent in all the games, but I'm still being organic and goofy and a little somewhat not disorganized, but maybe disorganized. But I mean, here's all the rules. I'm just making sure they're all the same rules. So whenever I update one, I got to go back and paste in the other one. Now, this rule, die rank result, is in the original printing. I just looked it up here, but it's a little I simplified it a little more. Ooh, the staple's coming out. Uh-oh. This thing came out, the center one of this one came out of the staple. Oh well, it's gonna happen. This is the one I mainly use anyway. So the die rank result, what is that? I've changed it to in the printing. I'll explain it to you here. Okay, sometimes one rolls a skill in hopes that it will affect other outcomes. Praying is used this way. One gets a DRR as an inspired die to use later. Unlike the basic TR12, trial rating of 12, the result above a 10 determines the die rank result, or DRR. So I decided to go ahead and go with 10 because it's easier to remember than the regular 12. In the original printed one, I say, if you get 4 above 12, you get a D4 bonus die for, to add to other rolls. I don't know why I'm showing it, but to add to other rolls, you get to add it to your prayer or your inspired die because of your prayer, or you could add it to healing or reducing a wound by D4. In the original, I said you got to get a 16. Now I'm saying, just to simplify it, you got to get a 14, so 4 above a 10. So in order to get a D6, you got to get a 16 above a 10, and get a D8, you got to get an 18 above 10, and to get a D10, you got to get a 10 above 10. Okay, so to keep it simple. If someone rolls for prayer, so if the cleric gathers everybody around and he prays before going into the cave or doing a mission, this is what you get. This is what you use to determine how good the prayer is and what kind of inspired die everybody gets. So you got to figure out the DRR, the die rank result. So let's say he rolls and gets a 16 roll. He gets whatever bonuses or whatever the situation is, and his final result is a 16. Now everybody gets a D6 inspired die. It's 16 above 10, or 6 above 10, 16 D6. That's what a die rank result is. And this is really important in role playing too. It's not just like hitting someone and getting a positive or a negative, right? Hit or miss. Sometimes it's that gray area of how well you do, and how does that then add to healing or a bonus or whatever. So this can be used, for instance, an example, and I took it out of here, it's in the print, but another example is, let's say a patron lady uses her perfume or makeup. She wants to make herself pretty because they're going into the court and we're going to go talk to the duke or king or whoever and try to persuade them. So she gets her makeup kit out. Now, is she in a room? Or is she outside at a campsite, So you would just say, oh, okay, if she, let's say she's in a hotel room or whatever they're called back in the day, very comfortable, luxurious setting, you can give her an extra D4 or D6 to that roll. And then she has her own skills. And then maybe the makeup kit is a D4 makeup kit. So you're going to combine all those to get D6 or D8, a D4 and a D6 become a D8. It upgrades one. Okay. But let's say her final result was a 22. Yay! She added her prayer, that D6 prayer bonus in there, and so everyone's excited. So she rolls a 22 total. So she gets a D12. In other words, she's looking dashing. The knight is looking at her, and the nun is looking at her, and the cleric is looking at her. Whoa. And she's, they go into the court, and she's rather dashing walking in, and I would just role play some of that. But every now and then when she wants to do a social skill, she wants to persuade, she wants to talk, or even do a feigning thing like where she distracts, she will get a D12 bonus to that roll because she's, and it's got to be based on beauty. That bonus can only be for beauty or, but in a social setting. So I would give her that D12. Now, we have a discussion and talk about, how manipulative that can be. I would say, I would just, let her use it the whole time. And then if she ever rolls a 1 on somebody, with the D12, then that 1 is a negative narrative die. And then I would say at that point, you don't persuade that person anymore. They're, turned off by your makeup and your whatever. But not everybody, or if she rolls if she tries to do a public speech and she rolls a 1 on the D12, and this is going into another rule, which is the narrative die, which is an optional thing. But if she were ever to roll a 1, then the makeup stops working on the people, as a bonus. She can still use her skills and all that, but the makeup itself stops working, depending on the situation and, however you want to play it. But anyway, let's get back to DRR. I went into narrative die, which is up here, this rule. But anyway, so back to die. Yeah. So that's how that's used. It's used to give you that extra bonus die based on what you're doing. Like if you sharpen a sword, then you're smithing and you want to sharpen a sword, your DRR result will then can give you a bonus to that sword. It's not a permanent bonus. It's a one-use temporary die, like inspired die. You use it once for the sword, and I would say each time you use it, it goes down 1. So you can think of it that way. There's no rule there. I'm just off the top of my head. It's the sword is sharpened. Each time you use it, it gets duller and duller. So you start off with it. They roll a 22 on their sharpening. Wow, you get a D12. Yeah, and is that to hit or to damage? Well, I let them decide. Pretty wicked. But then after they swing with it, even if they miss, I would go, okay, go down a D10, go down a D8, go down, because you get it like that. You do it like that. Or if they're rolling at 1, then it's totally dull, or it doesn't have the bonus anymore. You could do that kind of stuff. It's very loosey goosey in that sense. Now, obviously, the makeup, the sword sharpening is different from the makeup. So the makeup is more permanent until they roll an at 1 or whatever. Hey, that's the nature of the beast. So what else? So that's what DRR is. It's also for if you get a grievous wound. So whenever you get a grievous wound through fumbling or through a critical hit, nat 20, or if a battle axe, which generally, or guns do a critical on a 19 or 20, you'll get a wound, right? You're at minus D4 in a nice game. In a brutal game, I would make the critical wound, the grievous wound, based off the weapon. So if it's a battle axe, I think they're D10 damage. It could be D12, I don't know, whatever. But if it's a D10, that's the grievous wound. And if you go past D12, you are dead because things are cut off. But a D10, and if you get another wound, that'll go probably past D12, then death. So if you get a wound from a D10, if you get a grievous wound of D10 in a brutal game, you're wounded. You're at minus D10 for every roll. So a person can heal you. Now, the only heal I would allow in a combat situation is a miracle of healing, which is, by a nun or a cleric could have it. And they do a miracle of healing on the person. And that is a die rank result. Okay. For that one, I don't use, let me make sure it's in the rules, but I don't use the miracle of healing. It automatically heals it all. It's a die rank result. Better be. This specifically heals grievous wounds. This can only occur during a rest. Okay, I do allow it during battle just because of how horrible the situation is. But I'm going to keep that rule in there. This can only occur during a rest. So take it as you will. I probably should take that out then. The nuns, because I have let them use it in the game, and so I probably should allow that. So let me just do that right now and delete this. The nuns spending faith points must roll the die rank result or DRR above. I'm just going to take out the 12 and just say DRR. The rules are over there. Other abilities like mothering and heal can heal and heal can upgrade the roll. Okay, so only here can you specifically heals grievous wounds. And I'm going to tweak this a little bit off after the video, but basically that's what it is. And now I have to go and update it for the other ones. Let me make sure I remember to do that. Where's my reminder notebook? Okay, update, heal. See, I'm just working here, grievous wounds. Okay. So that's what DRR is. It's not for upgrading gear. Like, let me go. I have a rule now in Creations in Space. It's not even in the other rules. It's only in Creations in Space, but you can use it. You can apply it backwards if you want. But I feel like it's really meant for Creations in Space. Crafting, engineering, and upgrading. So you can actually upgrade guns, with engineering in a work lab. The reason why I don't have it in the Apostles of the Apocalypse and the Dark Ages is because I don't feel like that's really the gameplay mechanics in those ones. You could apply it to the Apocalypse one, but whatever. For now, I'm gonna just keep it in Creations in Space, just for the fun of it. This rule here, which does kind of use DRR, but in a more no, it doesn't. No, I take that back. It doesn't use DRR. So just so you know, I've been working, and DRR is a really cool and fun little rule that I like to use when people want to do a couple extra, something that is about getting better for further preparing yourself for the next thing, like prayer or makeup or wearing clothes or sharpening your sword. Those are things you're trying to do to prepare for the mission. And so that's what a DRR is. What die rank result you get to then add a bonus to the mission, to that specific mission. Okay, that's what DRR is. It's in there. It's fun. It's a cool little mechanic to roleplay preparation, which I really like. Okay, and thanks for listening. I'm going to try to get some games going soon. I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things and get my brain juices going again. All right, so remember the game of life, roll holy dice. More videos of For the Lord RPG coming up. I got one about missionaries and blah, blah, blah. Okay.